I'm calling this 1,000 pips of naked trading, and this is just as simple as I could get it. I made a template here called one end for naked, and I've just been throwing in all of the horizontal support lines. I'm just going to go for the obvious peaks and valleys. There's a valley, and just there's a big flat top peak. There's your drift sideways. Here's the double top peaking at the bottom. Here's the schizoid unpegging. So that was the big deal there, and this is the big deal low, so we can count on this at least, right? And we had 1,000 pips on this grid. Look at this nice double top. I mean, if we ever come back there, wow. That thing left this range with a pretty angry attitude. And I'm going to do a equidistant horizontal here, which will be kind of crooked if you don't cue it right, but there's a nice price pulse here of a sideways. This is like a flag on a windy day or something. This beautiful situation there. Anytime you see one of these price pulses, I think it's a great place to look for, like a double top kind of has an echo to it, kind of like this one over here. If you know these two tops, you can always swing this to the low, and it may not give you the price, but it does give you kind of a rhythm. There is kind of a fake out move, and it typically that's going to be the same rhythm as the last cycle of that kind of behavior, it seems like. So this is just starting to drift away from the pack. This pound Swiss, you could say that that was the kind of a shallow pullback, and you could hang this for the first time here on the monthly. This one you can't really. I guess this one you don't really have to punch in and zoom out on these now. But I'm only running a year and a half of data on here just to keep myself from ruining the current story. I can always go back and for kicks and double check my arithmetic going back. Now if I take this and squeeze it, I'm looking at about 2,000 pips on the monthly, and just naked trading the 1 period moving average, or close if you can get your computer to do close with a fat line, but I can't do this. MetaTrader won't let me fatten my lines inside of the properties. I don't think you can, you can't tell it, give me a fat line, just colors only. So that's why I just went with an indicator. Now, this, I'm going to immediately see that this has the projection up here. If I take this down, now I can lock in the, and then I created the vertical for, give us the, when we think it's going to happen. So we can give ourselves a date, Here's looks like July-ish, right? I mean, for the rhythm, the current rhythm of the pound CAD. And the same thing here. Now this price pulse looks like we're stretching out here, and this is a longer channel. And we've got almost three touches there. Like if we had this one here, the first pullback, measure off the top, and then we could use this, just copy that, so you have to keep on and you could keep the same angle. So you could just do a segmentary, speculate maybe this is about another 500 pips north on this thing. Looks like we're going to go. I mean, we're just going to curl up into that. Everybody's going to be trying to sell into that and just get crushed. I mean, when these things take off, you know, they're going. So this one we project up into here, which would kind of at least come into the making sense with this bottom coming up into there. But also there is the downside. We have to think in both directions, and I'm going to place all pendings on this just precision entry. Now for most of every video I've done, I'm running giant banks of orders. It's more of a canvassing entry. But in this one, what I'm going to run is like a 300 pip stop, a 200 pip stop, 100 pip stop, and you know, if it's a micro account, yeah, I guess I don't understand. I mean, you could just trade one currency, right? But if you're going to do 300 pip stops and stuff like that, then you know you can really manage the risks in such a manner that you could say, I'm going to risk $10 a day and I'm going to make $50 a day. You should be able to risk $10 or $20 a day and make $100 to $200 a day. I think if you do it right. Well, this, when I say a day, I don't mean that every day. I mean if you made $1,000 on Monday and then you got stopped out of your trades and lost $200, you're still up $800 on the week. All right, so you get stopped out of 200. But this is looking at the monthly here and just doing these kind of, you know, if you got the patience for the thing to unfold on the monthly. But here, at least you can get you had the double bottom here, pound yen, and the double pound New Zealand. And this broke out of the range, and this was kind of a flag into the continuation. And this was supposed to be projected down to here. If this was supposed to be correct, this was supposed to be your entry. So that was your window. And you figure that if that's somebody else's target, then that could be your entry. If one man's target's another man's entry, then they're, you know, therefore be the now, after I get done with all this naked examinations, where the patient has their clothes off and they're, you know, they're all trembling, this was supposed to be the projection off of the lowest known close within there, and that was supposed to give you the target down here. And well, you knew this bottom existed, so we're going to go with 3 orders down here. You would have had an order down there to get in, to go up in case that was the price pulse projection just for that wave series. I mean, this is like Elliott wave down to 3 waves only. You're only allowed to trade 3 waves, or I guess you could say pull back, and then after the market turns, it's established the turn. Now it's okay to hang that line off it, and you're just going to place orders into the projection zones. So on the sell side, you have a sell pending up here, at least for the, you know, that's be the reversal, or that's somebody else's target to the upside. That's where they're going to bail, or that's where the controversy is really going to kick in. Kind of messed up that. It's got to be down here. And I'm going to zoom into this thing in a second. So now we got all the obvious stuff here. This is kind of a really shallow channel. Of course, this is 1,000 pips. I mean, it's really quite a lot of money actually drifting up there. And then there was the perfect stair step on this one. Got this beautiful double. Double on that flat was like, I mean, come on, that's perfect. That is the most perfect setup I've ever seen in my life. When they brought it back to here, that's the monthly. And you can have this off of this. When you cue this to that, you want to use the that impulse length is your time projection at least. So time-wise in the calendar, you're going to be looking for up in here. What is it like? That's about. I guess you're going to have a problem if you run out of. If this thing projects too far out, looks like they won't let me. It's definitely past. You know, it looks like it's probably going to be almost the end of the year. That thing could keep running, and sometimes these things turn around. Like this turned around right at the end of the year. These two currencies, that's the yearly turn, and they literally turned on almost a dime there. You know, just this one turned on a dime, and this one, there was a shift. The pound, you know, I guess they really pulled the trigger. Like, look at this, turned right around on close. Just probably the most simple cycle. Looks like these were off by a month on the turn. Australia CAD maybe because these are the commodity pairs or something. Maybe some correlation there. Of course, this New Zealand supposedly. Well, but yeah, that rhythm, and then so now that that's in, let's just. Of course, let me just put in one more line, and then I'm going to turn on the bars and just see what the order scheme would have to have been to make money from these trades, or the trades that are going to happen up in here. And then we'll zoom in on these things. So we turn on the bars here on all these guys and see just what the real world would have been like. You know, in the perfect world is the naked world where, you know, things are not, there's no, you can't see that, oh, well, I think I would have got stopped out of that. Like if you would have bought this pause here thinking, oh, well, we're just going to go up and I can just go have a cup of coffee. I mean, you need to put a 500 pip stop on that to make 500. Let's break even. Yeah, if you're in a big, you know, position, of course, you know, anything you want the tightest stop possible, I would say. And here, this window, if you had this projection down, so let's just see what the fill rate was here. And this is back testing. I guess you could say this is the ultimate back testing because these are setup testings. So you really are not back testing in the sense of, you know, you're running some robot to go scan. No, this is, we've seen these patterns a million times. It's just how do we put the orders in to get filled. So here, this projection off of this, if you had a buy limit down in here, a crop of buy limits down in here, from below this low all the way to there was the window. And it coincides with the top here because you know on a 5-minute chart there's a wedge or whatever coming up into this monthly. You know inside of that monthly bar there's probably a gorgeous daily triple top, right? And then it came back and there was your fill. So we'll fix the scale on this one and see what the fill rate, how this guy got filled. You know, using this strategy. And it's just sheerly placing buy stops or buy limits. For the limits, I prefer to get the deep discount. So on here, your projection was to put buy limits here, so they kind of told you. But look at the wick on that thing. And look at that. That's the range of the day. So that's your ATR, whatever, well, monthly, whatever that means, monthly ATR. And this one's same thing. Of course, we're talking about getting in up here with the sell limits up here, almost at the 1,000 pip handle. And you can see here your order here, your limit based on naked placement, you would have got filled here at a buy limit. You know this top exists as time marches on. You know, 9 months later, you're getting filled here. Beautiful entry. Same thing here. This guy got filled. You can't see it on close because if you turn these, you know, so you can see that. And so yeah, you can do the price projections, put things there, go back, turn on the bars, see how it would have played out.